Welcome to the show. Stop playing with love. We're gonna make sure that we turn losers of love into winners of love. I'm your host, Brandon George, but you already know you can call me 8000. And I have my lovely executive producer, C Dub, in the background. You already know that God is producing this also. So we have some questions from the audience about what's going on now and how I'm gonna answer this. Let's go.
All right, first up, everybody's talking about how much time should you have in between your relationships?
Well, first, I hope that if you're married, you should wait till you get divorced before you start a new relationship with anyone. And the only relationship you should be having when you separated till you get divorced is a relationship with God and your child or children. If you're not married and you've been in a relationship longer than 2 years, you should always wait the length of the relationship. So if it's 2 years, you should give about a year before you start seriously dating someone, and 6 months before you start really thinking about dating someone else. Because you gotta get all that residue from that last person out of your heart, out of your woo woo. You know what I'm talking about? So give yourself some time, get to learn you, because especially if you was committed and really committed to that person, and that's all you knew at the time, whether it was a marriage or whether it was a long term relationship, more than 2 years, then you have to give yourself time to heal. You have to really do the work, getting right with yourself, getting right with God, and making sure you go to therapy, making sure you learn who you are. Do some self loving things, solo dates and stuff like that. And then once you realize what you want moving forward, then you can start adding someone else into your space.
All right, got some high standards there. You got
Oh yeah,
some.
this is the High Standard podcast.
All right, one of the other topics that's coming up is whether in a relationship there are some things that one partner should keep to themselves or they shouldn't necessarily share with their partner. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you should never ask about somebody's past history unless that you are in the same region, y'all grew up in the same region, y'all from the same area. Then you should share if you was intimate or involved with people that the other person might know, right? But if you just meeting someone to say you from New Jersey and you meet someone from New York and y'all don't know each other past, you shouldn't really care too much about their body count. You want to know the basics of what happened in your previous relationship. I don't think a lot of women are honest about did they cheat in their last relationships. I think a lot of men sometimes be too honest about what happened in their previous relationship. So I think sometimes you have to find a balance. Everything is in balance, right? So you have to find a balance on what to share and what not to share. But if you know that your past will walk through the door, or you will walk into a place where you're going to see your past, then I think you need to start sharing information about your past.
All right. The final question is around therapy. You know, everybody thinks they have their 2 cents to say. Everybody wants to diagnose themselves. What role do you feel like therapy should play in a relationship?
Having a good therapist, like if you're a black man, you should have a black therapist, a black man therapist. If you're a black woman, you should have a black woman therapist or a woman of color. I'm not saying that a white man or a white woman cannot help you get to that, but they might not really understand some of the challenges or some of the things that you're trying to get healing process. But I think therapy is very important. And after a breakup, after loss of employment, loss of family members, I think therapy is important. Getting connected with yourself. Some people is not into church, but if you believe in a higher power, I think you should definitely get connected with the higher power, get connected with yourself, and I think that you really need to take therapy serious, and that should be part of your work. If you don't hear that in as you're trying to date someone, if the other person across you hasn't done the work, then that's the person for you.
Some people say it's like two healed or healing people who are happy and stable come together for a strong foundation, right?
You just want people to do the work, and it's okay once you do the work to date someone for 6 months to a year, get into a relationship, and then y'all do a couple of therapy, right? So then you can start really dissecting some of the issues, or maybe they haven't really dealt with the things that they went to therapy for. Action always speak louder than words. Somebody could tell you something, and You know, the honeymoon stage, everybody's always saying the right thing, doing the right thing. Everybody's cheesy, cheesy, cheesy. And when the honeymoon stage is over, then that's when the real relationship starts. And I think I truly believe that spending time with God, spending time with yourself, and some therapy before you get into a relationship, it should be mandatory.
All right, that's a good note to close out our.
I'm not ready to close out yet. And I was asked before was coffee date, right? Is that necessary? Now,
Or just the question on coffee dates. Are those acceptable? There's a debate about whether a coffee date is an acceptable form of a date.
if anybody have an issue with coffee date, especially if it's a woman, you have to ask, are you a prostitute? Right? If you're saying that you need to spend this amount of money on me, or you should be taking me to an expensive restaurant or a luxury place or flying me out without any sex, what type of gold digger are you? Because if you really want to be with someone, whether it's a coffee date, whether it's an ice cream date, whether it's a walk in the park, I don't think a dude being cheap. I just think a dude is just trying to get to know you. Just like you should be trying to get to know the man, right? When you first meet someone, whether it's in passing or whether it's online, y'all should have a phone conversation before you get to the first date, no less than 2 hours of a conversation, then go to a coffee date to have more time, and then the third date, if it's going well, then yeah, somebody should be a gentleman, right? Not saying Cheesecake Factory is cheap, but that should be the next level, the next date, and then keep going up and up. But it's give or take too. You could take a man to a Ruth Chris or STK. I'm vegan, so I don't know what spots people eating at now, but yeah, you take a person to an expensive date, and the woman can do the same, right? It shouldn't just be a man always have to pursue. Great conversation is intimacy, right? So you could be at the coffee shop. It's a low-key coffee shop, authentic coffee shop that's in a nice neighborhood. You can sit out there for hours and just talk. Don't tell everything about your life, but just have a good vibe and a good time. You can't really do that if it's a busy restaurant, very high class, very luxury restaurant, and service is coming by every 2 minutes and make sure you're okay. There's a lot of people. You just worrying about the money somebody's spending on you. Then you know what type of prostitute are you?
Well, that leads to the other questions that have come up before, where is there a certain amount of time that people need to wait before they become physically intimate?
It's how mature you are. Maturity plays a part. If a person feel like they can be mature about it, if two mature people get together, yes, the first night is acceptable. If one person is not mature enough to look past that we're grown, and it's all about action. So waiting 90 days or waiting a year and be disappointed or might not be. There's no rhyme or reason. Every relationship, every connection should be different and will be different. Some could be similar, but it's always different because it's a different person. Some people had done it on the first day or first night. Some people should have waited. So you have to have discernment. You have to have the maturity to know the difference of this is real or this is not going to be real. Some people don't. Some people want to chase. Some men want to wait. Some women want to wait. Some women look at men that want to wait like they're not being a man, right? So it's all about the vibe. It's all about maturity. Some people tell you that they're not going to do nothing crazy. They're not going to leave you if you give it to them the first night. It's all about action. And you got to be willing to roll the dice, right? Because we are always gambling when it comes down to love. That's it.
That's our turn.